Most people think they're broke because they don't make enough money. That's a lie. There are people earning $3 million, still broke. There are people earning $30 million, also broke. So what's really going on? The truth is, being broke is not just about income. It's about how you think, how you behave, and how you play the long game. And if you don't fix these three things, no matter how much money you make, you will always start from zero again. Let's break it down. Let's start with the most common trap. Most people believe that the solution to being broke is simply earning more money. If I just get a raise, if I just land a better job, if I just increase my income, then everything will be fine. But reality doesn't work like that, because income is not wealth. Income is temporary. Wealth is lasting. Income is what you earn. Wealth is what you keep and what continues to grow without your constant effort. And this is where things go wrong for most people. The moment their income increases, their lifestyle increases too. It's almost automatic. You start justifying things. I deserve this. I've worked hard for this. It's just one upgrade. So you upgrade your phone. You start eating out more often. You subscribe to more services. You move into a more expensive place. You spend more just because you can. And suddenly, that extra income you were so excited about? Gone. Not because you didn't earn enough, but because your expenses quietly caught up with you. This is called lifestyle inflation, and it's dangerous because it feels like progress. But in reality, you're running in place. From the outside, it looks like you're leveling up. Better clothes, better gadgets, better lifestyle. But financially, nothing has changed. You're still dependent on your next paycheck. You're still one emergency away from stress. You're still starting from zero every single month. That's not wealth. That's just a more expensive version of being broke. Real wealth is different. Real wealth is when you have assets, things that generate income even when you're not working. Investments, businesses, systems, things that put money into your pocket, not take money out. Because here's the truth most people avoid. If you stop working today, how long can you survive? A week? A month? 3 months? That answer tells you everything about your financial reality. Wealth gives you time. Wealth gives you options. Wealth gives you freedom. Income alone does not. So instead of focusing only on increasing your income, start asking a better question. How much of what I earn do I actually keep? And how much of it is working for me? Because the goal is not to look rich. The goal is to become financially unbreakable. And that starts when you stop chasing income and start building wealth.
Let's be honest. Most people are working hard, but their money is not. And that's the real problem. You can wake up early, work long hours, push yourself every day. But if your income only comes from your effort, you are stuck in a system where time equals money. And time is limited. There are only 24 hours in a day. You can't work 25. You can't double your time overnight. So even if you grind harder, your income has a ceiling. This is where the game changes, because wealthy people don't just earn money, they multiply it. They understand one simple principle. Money can work just like you do, and sometimes even better. But most people never learn this. They stay in survival mode. They earn money, then they spend it, and whatever is left, they might save. And investing? That's something they think about later, when they have more money, when things feel safer, when the timing is right. But that moment never comes. Because if you don't build the habit of multiplying money early, you'll always find a reason to delay it. Here's the truth. Saving money alone will not make you rich. Saving protects money, but investing grows it. And growth is where freedom comes from. This is where the math of multiplication becomes powerful. Small amounts, consistently invested,
can turn into something big over time. Not because of luck, but because of compounding. Money generating more money, and then that money generating even more money. It starts slow, almost invisible, but over time, it accelerates. This is why two people earning the same income can end up in completely different financial situations. One spends everything they earn, the other invests a portion, consistently. 5 years later, the difference is noticeable. 10 years later, the gap is massive. 20 years later, they're living in completely different realities. And it all started with one decision: to multiply money instead of just using it. But here's where most people get it wrong. They think investing requires a lot of money. It doesn't. It requires discipline, consistency, and patience. Even small amounts matter because the habit is more important than the number. When you train yourself to invest first, before spending, you are rewiring your financial behavior. You're no longer just a consumer. You're becoming a builder. So instead of asking, how much can I spend today? Start asking, how much can I make grow today? Because every dollar you invest is a worker you send out into the world. And the more workers you have, the less you have to work yourself. That's the shift. From working for money to letting money work for you. And once that shift happens, everything changes. This one is uncomfortable because it's not about money. It's about you. Most people don't stay broke because they lack opportunity. They stay broke because they lack control. Control over their impulses, control over their habits, control over what they do when no one is watching. We live in a world designed to distract you. Everything is built for instant gratification. One click, you get entertainment. One tap, you buy something. One scroll, hours disappear. And it feels good. That's the trap. Because your brain is wired to chase pleasure. Fast dopamine, easy rewards, zero effort. But here's the problem. What feels good now often costs you later. Every time you choose comfort over growth, you are delaying your future. You say you want to improve your life, but at night you scroll instead of learning. You watch instead of building. You consume instead of creating. And day by day, nothing changes. Not because you're not capable, but because your habits are working against you. Discipline is not about being extreme. It's about being consistent with the right choices, even when you don't feel like it, especially when you don't feel like it. Because success is not built on motivation. Motivation comes and goes. Discipline stays. Let's make it simple. Every decision you make is either moving you closer to wealth or pulling you deeper into the same cycle. There is no neutral. Buying something you don't need, that's a step backwards. Wasting hours on distractions, another step backwards. Avoiding learning new skills, you guessed it. And these small decisions, they don't feel dangerous in the moment, but they stack day after day, week after week, year after year, until one day you look around and realize you're still in the same place. That's the cost of short-term thinking. Now flip it. What if you delayed gratification? What if instead of spending, you invested? Instead of scrolling, you studied? Instead of avoiding, you took action? It wouldn't feel as fun in the moment, but over time, it changes everything. Because discipline compounds just like money. The small things you do daily become the life you live later. And here's the truth most people ignore. Money doesn't fix undisciplined behavior, it amplifies it. If you can't control $100, you won't control $1,000. If you lack discipline now, more income will just create bigger mistakes. That's why some people earn more but still stay broke, because the problem was never their income, it was their behavior. So if you really want to change your financial life, start here, not with money, but with your habits. Because when you master yourself, you naturally start mastering your money. And once that happens, staying broke is no longer your default. discipline becomes your advantage. Let's get something straight. The market does not care how hard you work. It doesn't care how long you work. It doesn't care how tired you feel. It doesn't even care how badly you want to succeed. The market only cares about one thing: value. That's it. You can put in 10, 12 hours every day, but if what you do is easy to replace, easy to ignore, or easy to automate, your income will always be limited. This is where a lot of people get frustrated. They feel like they're doing everything right. They're working hard, they're showing up, they're being consistent, but their financial situation doesn't improve. Why? Because effort does not equal value. Let me say that again. Effort does not equal value. Value is determined by the market, not by you, not by your feelings, not by how much energy you put in. The market rewards skills that are rare, solutions that solve real problems, work that can impact many people. If what you do can be done by almost anyone, you will be paid like almost everyone. That's just reality. So instead of asking, why am I not earning more, you need to ask a better, more uncomfortable question. Am I actually valuable enough? Because increasing your income is not about working harder. It's about becoming harder to replace. Think about it. Why do some people earn 10 times more than others? It's not because they work 10 times harder. It's because they create 10 times more value. They solve bigger problems. They reach more people. They build systems that scale. That's the key word: scale. If your work only affects one person at a time, your income will always be tied to your time. But if you can create something that impacts thousands or even millions, now your value increases dramatically. And when your value increases, money follows. This is why learning high-value skills matters. Skills like communication, sales, problem solving, understanding human behavior, building systems or businesses. These are skills that multiply your value, not just add to it. And here's another truth most people ignore. Value is not just about what you know, it's about how you apply it. You can have knowledge, but if you don't use it to create results, the market won't reward you, because the market pays for outcomes, not potential, not intention. Outcomes. So if you want to stop being broke, stop focusing only on making money. Start focusing on becoming valuable. Upgrade your skills, solve bigger problems, think in terms of impact, not effort. Because once you become someone who creates real value, you don't have to chase money anymore. Money starts chasing you. And that's when the game truly changes. This is the final piece. And honestly, this is where most people lose. Not because they're not smart, not because they don't work hard, but because they're playing the wrong game. Most people are playing a short-term game. They think in days, in weeks, maybe in months. They want fast results, fast money, fast success, fast change. And when it doesn't happen, they get frustrated, they quit, they switch strategies, they start over again and again and again. And every time they restart, they reset their progress back to zero. This is why they feel stuck. Not because nothing works, but because they never stay long enough for anything to work. Now compare that to how wealth is actually built. Wealth is a long-term game. It's not measured in days, not in weeks, but in years, sometimes decades. And that's uncomfortable for most people because it requires patience. It requires consistency. It requires doing the same things over and over again without immediate results. That's boring. And most people can't handle boring. They want excitement. They want quick wins. They want to feel progress instantly. But real progress is often invisible at the beginning. Think about investing. At first, nothing seems to happen. Your money grows slowly, almost too slow to notice. It feels like it's not working. But if you stay consistent, if you keep investing regularly, something interesting happens. Time starts doing the heavy lifting. Growth starts accelerating, and suddenly, what felt slow at the beginning becomes powerful over time. This is the power of staying in the game. The same applies to skills, to business, to discipline, to everything. At first, it's hard. You don't see results. You doubt yourself. You feel like quitting. But if you keep going, you build momentum, and momentum changes everything. Here's the truth. Consistency beats intensity. Working extremely hard for 1 week, then doing nothing for the next 3 will never beat someone who shows up every single day, even at a slower pace. Because consistency compounds, just like money, just like habits, just like success. Now here's where most people go wrong. They keep looking for the perfect strategy, the next opportunity, the better system, the faster path. But the truth is, the strategy is rarely the problem. The lack of consistency is. Jumping from one thing to another feels productive, but it's actually just another form of procrastination because you avoid the hardest part, sticking with one path long enough to see results. So if you want to change your life, you need to change the game you're playing. Stop thinking short term. Stop chasing quick wins. Start thinking in years. Start building habits that last. Start committing to a path and staying on it, even when it's slow, even when it's boring, even when it feels like nothing is happening. Because something is happening. You're building the foundation, and once that foundation is strong, everything starts to stack. And when it finally clicks, it looks like overnight success. But in reality, it was years of consistency, years of patience, years of playing the right game. So ask yourself, are you playing for today or are you playing for your future? Because the game you choose determines the life you live.
So now you see the truth. Being broke is not just about how much money you make. It's about how you think, how you behave, what you prioritize every single day. It's about whether you control your money or your money controls you. Because at the end of the day, income can change fast, but habits are what decide whether you stay broke or build wealth. You've seen the 3 real reasons: confusing income with wealth, not multiplying your money, choosing short-term pleasure over long-term growth. And if you're honest with yourself, you probably saw a part of your life in at least one of them. That's okay, because awareness is the first step. But staying the same, that's a choice. From this point forward, you have 2 options. You can go back to your old habits, back to comfort, back to the same cycle. Or you can decide that today is different. That today you start thinking long-term. You start controlling your impulses. You start building, not just consuming. No one is coming to fix your financial life. No perfect moment is coming. It starts with you, one decision at a time, one habit at a time, one step at a time. And if you stay consistent, your future will look nothing like your present. Now, before you leave, if you got value from this video, make sure you hit subscribe. Because on this channel, we don't just talk about making money, we talk about building discipline, understanding value, and creating a mindset that actually lasts. And for those of you who have subscribed, I sincerely pray for you. I pray that your income grows beyond your expectations. I pray that your discipline becomes unshakable. I pray that your money multiplies steadily and consistently. And most importantly, I pray that every debt you carry today is paid off step by step until you are finally free. I'll see you in the next video.